What's up everybody, I'm Abatage, and this is Blastum. If you saw my one shot on the game, then you'll know that I was having a lot of fun with this, and it's also hard as nails. So I thought I'd just pop this video together because I happen to be recording it. As every now and then I do, I just record stuff just to see if it comes out any good and see if it's worth putting up and interesting enough to have on the channel and for people to look at and that sort of thing. And I was filming this and I eventually got a very good score, the best one that I've got since, and yeah, I'm so proud of it. It was so mental. So I'm post commentating this because I wanted to include all the fails as well. As you can see, there I am failing. This whole video is basically all fails up until the end. I did alright, I think, here and there, but I wanted to put this up because it's kind of a good representation of how much you can fail in this game. and how many times you end up restarting and, yeah, just trying and trying and trying until you happen to hit that mojo and really jam on it and just get a good score. The score that I got on this has already been beaten by other people, so we're getting into that stage now where the game's been out kind of long enough and people have been playing it long enough that the scoreboard, the leaderboard, is beginning to get a little more difficult to get onto. Like initially I found it was not easy but doable to get a high score and definitely get into the top 10 and that sort of thing after I'd been playing it for a while, because I have been practicing and I've got a few theories about what helps and how to do it better and all that sort of thing. So yeah, it wasn't too difficult to get up into the top 10. These days it's getting more and more difficult and people keep beating your scores and getting better and better at it, and it's amazing to see some of the scores that are coming up because you just look at them and go, how the hell did you do that? Knowing how difficult it is to get anywhere near that. I mean, this run we're looking at right now is not a bad one. Like, we're up there. If you get to this point in the level, I guess you're doing all right. But then you do something like that, and yeah, it just fails completely. So yeah, I wanted to put this up anyway because it's interesting, I think. I'm not going to turn this into a series or anything. I'm not interested in doing that. At the moment, I think I'll just keep playing for fun, as I do. And if I happen to record something that I think is cool or funny, or, you know, I'd manage to get like super uber high score, somehow fluke it, and, you know, happen to be recording at the same time, because every now and then I do. Sometimes I don't because I couldn't be bothered. It might be late at night and I'm playing, and I'm not the kind of guy who just sits there and records everything under the sun. If I feel like I'm on a roll or something, I might stick the old fraps on and record some gameplay just to see how it goes. But yeah, don't expect this to be a regular thing, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. This is more just to show you the difference between the fail attempts and when you actually get it and you fluke it through and you don't run into asteroids like that. And how easy it is to just stuff up because you can get excited and kind of get blurry-eyed after a few attempts and just forget where you're going. I saw a tweet from someone, actually, I'm sorry I can't remember whose it was, but all it said was basically, no, that's not a coin. And that kind of, I can appreciate that sentiment. You get so blurry and so confused about what's going on the screen that you might go, ooh, and go grab a coin, but it's actually a laser, or it's, you know, a bullet or whatever, or an asteroid or anything. and as soon as you hit it, you're like, oh, you dumbass. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and again, I highly recommend you check out this game, because the more you play it, the more fun it is, and the better you get at it, the better it is. And yeah, it's really interesting. So check the video description for links and all that sort of stuff, because it'll all be in there, where you can go to buy it, where you can go to check out the publisher or developer, I guess, because it's self-published. and that sort of thing. But I guess at the same time I'll talk about what I think is my theory on how to do better at this game. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a couple of things. The first is to accept the fact that you're not going to shoot everything on the stage. It's just not going to happen. If you try and do that, you're going to get way caught up and confused, and you're not going to make it, and you're going to end up just hitting things by mistake. So don't even try that. It's not worth it. The other thing is to pick up as many coins as you can, but don't risk dying for picking up a few coins, because they're only worth like one each. Unless you've got some asteroid ones, they're worth more, but even those ones you can bypass some if you really want to. It doesn't matter. You'll see in all my playthroughs here, I'm missing stuff left, right and center. I mean, at the moment I've got that magnet power up, which sucks everything into you, and that's fine. But that leads me into my next point of how to do well in this game, which is don't try and get all the power-ups. You'll notice through all these playthroughs I barely get the triple shot power-up, the three-way one where it shoots up, down and across. I generally go for the rapid fire, and not all the rapid fires for that matter, but I try and keep my rapid fire going because it's just a hell of a lot easier to kind of sweep the stage and move up and down and kind of capture everything within your range rather than trying to shoot individual bullets on target. You can just kind of spam a bit more and kind of spray and pray a bit with the rapid fire. The other one I pick up, or try to pick up regularly, is the magnet one. Again, I don't do it all the time. I just pick it up once generally, because before I run out I've usually died. But it usually goes about every second rapid fire one I pick up. So I pick up the first one, I skip one, and then I pick up the next one, because that's about how long it takes to run out of that power up. With the magnet one, I pick up the magnet just the once, and usually I've died before it runs out. There's a couple of times where it has run out on me, and so then I've picked it up again. But that one's not essential, because if you get the magnet and it does run out, you can go ahead and just pick them up manually yourself. Like, it's a little bit harder, especially depending on where you're at on the level, or on the stage, I guess. Depending on where you're at, it will be easier or harder if there's lots of enemies on the screen or not. So you kind of got to gauge that on the fly. But definitely do not pick up everything. Because you're spending your score to pick up pickups, it's really detrimental if you just pick up everything non-discriminately, and yeah, you'll find that it's more beneficial just to use the ones that suit you. Like maybe the three-way suits you a lot better and the magnet doesn't suit you at all. So yeah, just pick that one up. Like, stick to the ones that work and don't replenish them until they've run out. That's probably one of the biggest tips I can give for getting a higher score. And I'm by no means an expert or anything. Like, this is just my kind of way of playing. So yeah, hopefully that might help you out, because once I figured out those sorts of things, I managed to do a little bit better. I still, you know, sometimes I'll end up with a score of 1 or 2, because right at the beginning of the level I'll stuff up and run into something. It's very kind of twitchy in that sense. Like, you need to see, like that, I just ran straight into that dude and I've got a score of 29, which is not very good at all. But yeah, it's just the way it goes, and that's part of the joy of this game, is it is really twitchy, it's really busy, it's fast. I mean, look at that, what was that? Spazzing out with the mouse a bit there. But yeah, it's really fast, it's really twitchy, it's clutch kind of play. I'm stuffing up so much here that I can't believe that I eventually get the big score that's going to come towards the end of the video, which we're getting close to now. But you'll see in the final run that just how manic it can get later on in the level. And that's what trips me out, because on the scoreboard now there's like people with much bigger scores, and I just look at those scores and go, oh my god, how did you get there? I swear they're wizards or robots or something. But that's where it's kind of fun, having got into this game as a early adopter, I guess you could call it. But you know, I got it on release, so I didn't come in late. But getting it on release meant that the leaderboard was a little bit emptier, so I might have felt like I was doing a bit better than I actually was, which was a nice feeling, I gotta say, because I'm not usually one that makes it onto leaderboards. And it, you know, Assault Android Cactus I've been doing alright with. I've been getting a few more S pluses and that sort of stuff, which they will be going up on the channel, so you'll see them eventually. But I'm still not very high on the leaderboards with them. I'm still like in the hundreds, or you know, very rarely do I make it to the top 10. But I reckon we're up to that run now. It's hard to tell sometimes when you're not sure. But you can see we're just kind of jamming along here. It gets a little bit kind of lulls in the action a bit here, but then it's going to ramp itself up again down the line. And you can see that I've been picking up the rapid fires to keep that going. So that's been very useful. But as it happens, I'm not picking up that one, and I'm just going to continue on through here. And oh, this is, you can see how manic it's getting right now, and how full the screen is of enemies and coins and bullets and asteroids and there we go, that's the 248. So yeah, that's my little look at fails and successes on Blastum. At the time I was second in the list, I'm not anymore. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you around. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.